of India and the rest of this portion of the world knows something that we don't. We should be getting it through shortly. We will be starting things out in dry season, but this time it does seem to be a little bit more in our favor rather than the other.
Yeah, not as many Marcos Gaming believers here, but certainly a lot of fans. This is a very passionate region and one of my favorites to always cast. I feel like the people at home and you all at home in chat just always bring the energy. Love seeing these kind of smaller regions get their own sub-region, get playing. We get to see some new talent coming through this year and certainly been a memorable as one. So triple Revenant for us, but that doesn't mean that we won't be surprised. I've certainly missed out on quite a few predictions this year, Mr. Prediction Master. I don't think you can say the same, but I'm just trying to be like you out here. We'll see if Revenant can pull it off. Gene, first overall pick.
I must say, I do like the Gene. You know, it's very versatile. Got the range, got that long distance poke damage, possibly even coming in with that vision gear as well, getting some vision of that bush if you get the right angle. So I don't hate it as a first pick. Ban-wise, looking at the Penny, the Sprout, and the Brock from the blue side. The red side over there, the Tick, the RT, and the Sprout going to be banned out as well. So I like it. Clearly don't want to be seeing many throwers from either side.
Yeah, and I think that's respectable as well. Throwers can be really pesky with these indestructible walls. It's something we saw play out in our first grand finals of the day. Sharpshooter of choice, it's going to be Piper. Piper, not always a great matchup into Gene, I might add. This is probably a confidence pick, and sure, this is a longer range map. Piper can still shine, but one of the cons of this is, well, normally she can two-tap brawlers. You can shoot one, and then you follow up with a gadget. In this case, Gene can usually survive those situations. Plenty of HP, also has the magic puffs in his favor. I think this is a pretty solid matchup for Gene, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty decent as well. You know, Piper, when it's out in the open, if there's some wall breaks, and yes, we do have this unbreakable wall in the mid, so not as many as she'd like, even if she does manage to get them. But if there's some wall breaks, Piper definitely can have a say in that matchup. As you said, the homemade recipe is always very, very solid, but at the same time, if she was wanting to break, I don't think she'd really bring in that Grom. Yes, the Grom can do more of the same, break up a few of those walls here and there, but it's not really the best synergy if you are planning on breaking up that map with the Piper.
Yeah, a Grom pickup here doesn't necessarily seem super conducive, but I think they're just going to have to be careful about how they craft this map. A very safe and long-time Brawl synergy coming through for Revenant here. It's going to be Trishant picking up the Max. Max and Gene go back. It's a tale as old as time for Brawl Stars Esports. You get the speed of Max juicing up teammates. They can sprint across the map. Gene pulls, get within more striking distance. Obviously, a fanning shot coming in from Gene too, so you can apply so much pressure so quickly. This one a little surprising to me. Makes sense given the matchup, though. It's going to be Gray, who we've seen significantly less since his previous nerf. Not in this balance change, but in one beforehand. Used to be really, really strong, but is a way, I will say, to deal with throwers. He can get under those indestructible walls with this super, and once he's up close to somebody like Grom, unless Grom has a Grom bomb that goes down super quickly and he makes some insane reflexes, Gray can certainly win the matchup.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm surprised we haven't seen Meg come in yet. We did see it in that previous region, and in my eyes, it works pretty well. Really, really strong brawler at the moment with that kind of rework. Janet's going to be the last pick coming in from Marcos Gaming. I do like it. It's got that range. As I always say, it's one of those really, really versatile brawlers. Not really a lot that it's not very good against, and it's decent against quite a lot as well. Good burst damage at close range, drop the base occasionally as well, and obviously that's going to be able to be pretty solid for tanking these Gene pulls also.
I've seen Janet just about everywhere. It hasn't really changed. I mean, Janet's been around for a while, but it feels like more particularly in the APAC region when I'm looking at some of these scrims, seeing what these guys are practicing with. Janet shows up a lot, even a little bit here and there in the ban stage. Most of the time, she's a brawler that's not quite overpowered enough or matchup dependent to where you have to ban her. She's just good into just about everything here. Starting off our grand final, it's going to be Revenant Esports versus Marcos Gaming. Both sides fighting for this blue star. A dive back with the phase shift as just looking to get aggressive here. Picks up that blue star for his team, and the new bounty format going to be one of 20 stars accumulated here for Marcos Gaming.
Yeah, a lot of those gadgets being used early on. We see the drop the base on the right hand side. We already saw a phase shift, Vengeful Spirits as well coming in from the Gene, and obviously a lot of it has been expended early on, so you have to pretty much be seeing a lot of that normal gameplay towards the end, probably. Sergeant having to back off once more, and Trishant getting hit yet again. Homemade recipe going to be veering over to Shafin other than Trishant, and that's probably a good thing for Revenant at this point. He would have been quite low, and that would have pushed them back. Another drop the base place over the right hand side, and that's two of them gone already, and not even using them to tank the late game Gene pulls.
Love this positioning coming in from Marcos Gaming, just taking their time here, trying to make sure that they're the ones in control the whole time. Beautiful shots going down. Gene is going to fall. Sergeant could be the next victim as well. He's going to have to back away, taking advantage of the magic puffs coming in from Gene. They're grouping together. Trishant has that pool available. There's a shot coming through from Saran as well. The Piper gameplay on point right now. Not the easiest thing to do into a max either. Right now, Marcos Gaming in complete control with the one extra kill on their side.
Yeah, well, there's the pull. Going to get rid of that. With the walking cane, Yash going to get getting aggressed. Can Sergeant get out of this? Even if he gets the kill, he does manage to get the kill. Can he get out? The drop, the base is placed. And not going to be able to find another phase shifter in time. Trishant still got this pull as well. They are now at a 5 deficit. Vengeful Spirit's not going to connect on anybody there. And back to square one. 20 seconds to make the aggressive push, and they might be leaving it too little too late.
Countdown on the clock now. Revenant Esports, the favorites, need to respond quickly. 5 stars being the difference maker right now. Energy being distributed from Max. There's the pull connecting to the wrong object, though. There's one pickup they need more, though. A jump in from Piper. Blue star advantage. A team wipe here, but a response as well. Doesn't matter.
Maybe Marcus have that comp diff and therefore might be able to make something out of this match and this set to start things off. We know how valuable this first set is. If they can make a bit of a better play, then they might be able to pull through. Early kill as the blue star went to Revenant. It's now flipped onto the side of Marcos as they got the entry frag.
Tough beat there as Piper's going to miss that connecting shot with the gadget, but an excellent start for them too. They now let the other side do the dirty work for them, and they end up getting a kill in the process. Just trying to defend here. Drop the base going down as well, just keeping these enemies at bay. They're going to be punished if they try and go up close. Low HP for Grom. He's looking to get aggressive here. Watchtower to protect himself. Grom bomb in play. A connection there as Sergeant falls 4-1. Marcos Gaming with a 3-star lead.
We'll say we did see pretty much more of the same in the previous game, so you can't really write Revenant off no matter how many stars on deficit they are, because of this comeback capability that they have with this composition. Trishant going to go down once more as well, but Sergeant still surviving over this left-hand side, just taking things slow, maybe pushing one by one just a little bit too much and not able to get too much done because of that, but Shafin over the right-hand side, playing this nicely, playing it slow, and he knows this isn't a favorable matchup for him until he gets some speed or something going, so just playing it patient.
Grom bomb on this right-hand side. Pickup as well into Shafin. Sergeant going to be in trouble now too. Has to rely on these dodges. Great job so far. Grom has to be careful here, but has teammates backing him up. A beautiful pickup from Piper onto what should be a counterable matchup. Instead now, it's 10-1. Marcos Gaming adding on to their lead and running away with this game too.
Yeah, make it 12 now as well. Drop the base did go down eventually, but Shafin not able to get a lot done, and he goes down as well. 14-1. 7 kills on the side of Marcos Gaming, and Revenant with 0 to their name so far. Sergeant and Trishant over the left-hand side getting dominated as well. Another takedown and make it 16. Complete flip of the script here in the second game as Marcos Gaming are going to be the ones running away with it. Walking Kane's going to miss as well, and Yash going to walk away with 6 stars over his head. Strong with 5 as well, and that's just all out dominant.
Sometimes really difficult to hit, right? We saw the phase shift. Literally, Max can go indestructible for a second and dive out of the way. Didn't matter. Sharon was still hitting shots. Game number 3, we'll see how it starts off. Really aggressive once again as Revenant pick up blue star plus a kill earlier. Nice shots from a Shafin. The gray pick paying off right there.
Yeah, you maybe do have to question if this start being in the hands of Revenant is going to alter the course of the game and maybe bring them home this set win as the first one. Maybe a little bit lucky towards the end. They got that good positioning, but this time definitely starting things off a bit stronger, and Sergeant with an earlier speed as well. Not able to get too much done with it, but at least he's playing it a little bit smarter this time.
Yeah, Sergeant just trying to generate a little offense for his teammates, but just couldn't really do so. It's going to be really hard going to somebody like Abhishek, who has a really fanned out shot. Janet doesn't deal an insane amount of damage, but enough to certainly make you hurt. Opening up this map now as well, it's going to allow for Piper to kind of rain down shots in a little bit more wide open of an area. Sergeant and Trishant going to have to really rely on these dodges here. Yush letting some shots rain on the right as Shafin dodges out looking for that super. We haven't seen a lot of those from Shafin. Now a pull going through too. Piper's going to go down here. It's going to be 5 stars to 0. Less than a minute to go. Marcos Gaming started so strong in game number 2, but they're going to have to find some kills quickly.
Yeah, Shran for the first time pretty much caught off guard by the stream pull here. Yash also going to be low as well. Sergeant going to pick up another one and get 4 stars. Forced to jump as well. Phase shift through those bombs and come out alive. 9 stars to 0. And Marcos Gaming completely different from the previous game.
Yeah, we've had 3 games in this set. Every one of them have been so different. We've seen everything across the board. Another pull going through. The reflex is not quick enough, though. Sergeant strikes. Now a phase shift forward as well. Shrog going to be in trouble here. 13 stars in climbing. Grom Bomb going down. Misses Shafin. They need to do better than that with 10 seconds to go. Have to get every single pickup on the board here. 6 stars in Sergeant's hand. A missed pull won't matter too much. Abhishek going to be low HP, and they simply throw. It didn't work out the way that I think they would have wanted it to. It still had some shining moments. I just think that's a really tough spot to pull in Piper. And honestly, though, I think it made me eat my words a little bit. Definitely had some moments there and was a huge contributor for why I feel like Marcos Gaming was doing so well. The shots were just connecting at times, really popping off. So impressive stuff there. I think nonetheless, Marcos Gaming really showcasing that they are certainly in this matchup. Field goal, a new map being introduced into our month number 3 here. Trav, are there any takeaways for you on this map? Anything unique that you've seen here on this brand new Brawl Ball map to the BSC 2023?
I mean, I will say, I think the unbreakable walls maybe on there's just maybe a little few too many of them on this map, I feel. So, you know, the dynamite pick, I actually didn't kind of hate it when we saw it in the previous one, but the Mortis leaving something like that open, not really having a good answer to it was, you know, the downfall that we saw in the previous one. But Nita, it's a very good pick. We saw that in the previous one as well, and I believe we did see it come out on top as the winning side took it on field goal. But bans-wise, we're looking at Ash, Crow, and B, Penny, RT, and Max on the side of Marcos Gaming. Over to them for the picks now as well. Not sure if Nita's first pick material in my eyes is very good, but I think there are some better alternatives.
Yeah, I think with your first overall pick, you're usually wanting to play it safe and make sure you have something that's pretty versatile. Nita on this map, maybe with all the indestructible walls, they feel confident enough to make that work. It also prevents the other side maybe from being as tempted to go with those tanky brawlers, but I definitely understand where you're coming from, right? I feel like Ims to me makes a lot of sense as kind of one of those candidates for a first overall pick as well. Of course, we're going to see that on the other side from Sharon, but it just kind of makes sense to me. Usually with that first overall pick, pros aren't really trying to lock down what their strategy is the whole way through. They're going to want to see what this second and third pick response is. Ims, of course, being that first one. The band stage is what I'm looking at it here too. I mean, 6 unique brawlers makes a lot of sense to me. It's actually going to be Poco, who I'm imagining plays the mid here. I'm curious to see what they pair this up with, because if they go with the tank, like we said, Nita could be a pretty strong candidate with Bruce the Bear alongside her, but you know, Poco's still pretty strong on his own as well. Just a lot of area control right now from Marcos Gaming, not a ton of DPS.
Yeah, just a little bit confused about kind of the Poco pick at this stage in the draft, with Revenant still has 2 picks left. Even if they do take something that's going to be quite good against that Poco through the mid, or yet again double down and go even more against those tanks while still having that versatility with Spike, I think that's a very, very good pick from Sergeant there. They don't have the Ashe either, so it's not like they can top it off and kind of play the Ashe, which is usually that tank that's competent against most brawlers, even against some of those counters as well. But with B banned out, it kind of does kind of close down this mid portion of the map and allow Poco to thrive that a little bit more. Same with Ems, I guess, as well. Mid-range brawler, nothing that can really face it at range, but just intrigued to see what this last Revenant pick is, because obviously they do have to kind of still account for this tank, but don't want. Okay, then. And I mean, I don't hate it, but I'm not sure what to say about it.
You know, it's just the world we live in, Trav. I mean, this is back-to-back Dynamite and Grand Finals. I'm a happy camper. Month number 3 is delivering. I wonder if Marcos Gaming will take a similar approach to what we saw earlier, but if they do go with something like Mortis, it's going to be a bit wild going into somebody like Nita. So there's a little bit of yin and yang there, right? Pros and cons. Instead, they're going to go with the thrower of their own, who I believe was banned earlier on this map. Barley makes a lot of sense to me. It's going to be Yush picking this one up. Barley, I think, is somebody with these indestructible walls, similar to why Dynamite can be so good. Can also provide here. This is triple area control, really. Barley kind of that area control thrower. Poco just, you know, has playing his guitar, strumming it up the field. He's gonna be able to fan out shots. Ims, not really hard countering anything here. I'm trying to figure out how this is gonna go down in my brain, because for 2 straight grand finals now, we've had some really untraditional drafts here for field goal.
I mean, I like Revenant's got more. I didn't think I'd be saying this after I saw the Dynamite pick and no mid from them really coming out. But yeah, as I was about to say, I imagine Spike will be playing down that mid, and then we should have some pretty decent lanes. Sergeant's already going to pick up that mid. Nice pinch onto Yash there. And what is he going to do throughout this entire matchup? I just don't feel like there's much they can do. Ems is going to be dominated no matter what lane he's on as well.
kicking things off here as well. It's going to be Poco picking this ball early. Sergeant looking for a surprise shock here. No stun available there, though. Super in hand, can break these walls, and there's Abhishek with a super as well. Pass over to this right-hand side. Trishant has the ball, though. A super shot available if he needs it. I think they're going to be looking for the kill first, though. Easy pickup, easier goal. Revenant Esports putting one on the board early.
I mean, this is difficult for Marcos Gaming. I don't know what they can do here. They've come to the lane swap, and Revenant have read that as well and swapped back and got these matchups once more. Need to bear in the face of Abhishek, and he's being pushed back just by that alone. All the ammo's being expended on it. Shafin's got his super here as well, and pushing that ball forward. Some shots through from Trishant, bringing Yash low, and not able to get those finishes off, but pushed them back nicely. Shouldn't be able to get anything from this, but in turn, I don't think Marcos can either, really.
Spike certainly going to struggle with this Barley matchup if played properly. Trishant trying to stay back as well. Yush pushing forward as the Poco. A lot of HP for this composition, but certainly a lot of DPS coming in from somebody like Spike. Super going down now. Poco's going to be in trouble. Dynamite super inbound. Boom! He's going to go taking down here. Abhishek just looking to try and grab this ball, but Shafin putting on so much pressure. The curveball connects, and now it's going to be an instant offensive opportunity for Revenant Esports.
And then here comes another Dynabomb as well. Should be cycling it out, but he's just going to be able to get the walk. The Screeching Solo's not going to do anything either.
For me, there's no pop-off brawler opportunity. It's a healthy Poco. It's Ems. It's all safe brawlers. And Barley, of course, can be really solid, but we've already got enough area control in the team. I don't know how much more it's really going to contribute. Trying to heal up his teammates as well. Not going to do much here. Not the composition that's really going to thrive off that. Instant pickup onto the Poco now. Shafin tries to move this ball forward. Super going down this left-hand side. Really nowhere Sharon can go. Sergeant connecting the easy shots here. Still a solid defense so far. A lot of goalkeeping right now for Marcos Gaming.
Yeah, shots being thrown left, right, and center. Stun's going to come down. Not going to make any connections, though, and Sergeant. Yet again, starting from square one. Yash going to throw at that Screeching Solo, but not going to be able to bring down Shafin. He's got that super in hand as well. Just staying on that edge of Poco's shots. Wants to stay in his range, but outside of Poco, super going to be thrown down. Slows onto him as well, and the bomb once more from Sergeant goes off and gets the kill. Shran now trying to get the kill over the right side, but that's not happening either. And Trishant, bear in hand, 3 players on the map. What a position for Revenant.
They're looking pretty strong here. Dribble up this right-hand side. Sergeant hiding his gadget. Does make the connection to super as well. Sergeant with another super as well. The double tag. The triple kill. Dynamite pops off. And Sergeant walks in. An easy bucket here.
I mean, that was just absolutely beautiful. From the Nita Bear to the Dynamite super cycle. It's just absolutely gorgeous from Revenant. Throwing out another one. Not going to make any connections, but some wall break did come along the way. Should make it a little bit easier for Shafin here to get some shots through. The curveballs onto Shran and Yash. Super available as well, but he might want this goal scoring opportunity. He wants to try and keep this super and force the ball in with no real repercussions. Going to throw that ball up a little bit further, pass it out to Trishant. Super from Shafin still available. Surprised he hasn't used it on Yash just yet, but holding off just a little bit longer.
Trom with low HP here. Trisham now moving up the map. Shafin with another opportunity with the super. A double pickup here as well. Abhishek hustling back, but Sergeant refuses to miss. Easy walk forward, and once again, Revenant from their set number 1. Set number 2 just wasn't cutting it. I think partially to the draft. Again, I'm not a pro player. I'm never going to claim to be. These guys know way more than any of us do, but to me, it just didn't feel like there was enough firepower really with that composition. I think they're going to look back at that one, and that'll certainly be one that they reflect for the future months, but Marcos Gaming not out of it just yet. Hopping into set number 3, it's going to be Kaboom Canyon, a really interesting one. I'm looking out for Amber, Meg to make some appearances here in our band stages, and it looks like we see one on each side. Bonnie, one of those safe overall selections, I think, at pick number 1. You're not locking yourself into too much. Not too many counters that can be picked into Bonnie. Just a solid overall brawler. One of our 2 circus acts here. It's going to be Colette, Lola as immediate responses.
Yeah, fast draft. It seems like the teams know what they want to play, and I like it from Revenant so far. They've gone with that Colette, obviously very good against Bonnie as well, but we're already back to Marcos Gaming with their picks. Just a quick glance at the bands as well. Got the Crow, got the B, a little bit of that slow out the way. Meg, it's Meg at this point. If you know, you know, and it was massively changed in that previous bout. Changed so strong right now. Then the Max, the Amber being so strong with that new gear as well. Really solid stuff. Brock going to be picked up for Marcos Gaming, and then the final ban of that Daryl as well. I kind of like the approach that both teams are taking so far. Yes, they might have countered out that Bonnie really nicely with the Lola and the Colette, but Brock should have an answer to that.
Yeah, I think Brock in general as a sharpshooter is going to be favorable into Colette, but meanwhile, Colette's going to be really solid into that Bonnie tankier cannon form. I think it can work out. Plenty of DPS on the side of Revenant. Colette, one of the most notable historical ways to deal damage onto those high saves. Lolo, of course, very common in that as well. Eve, the final pickup here for Marcos Gaming. One of the unique factors about Eve is that she's not going to be prohibited by these little watery areas on the left and right-hand side of that middle area. She can just float right on top of it. The extra spawners could do well into somebody like Colette too, who's a single shot brawler. I think that makes a lot of sense to me. It's not the biggest damage dealer onto that high safe, but they got Brock for that. And of course, when she exits and gets out of Clyde, Bonnie can be that too.
Oh, Revenant feeling confident. It did get a little bit of a buff. It went from that standard speed to a very, very fast brawler. So nice stuff from them, but I'm not sure what it's good against here, really, I will say. When it gets in that grass, maybe with the speed gear as well, it can really pop off. But I also kind of think at the same time, it doesn't have the best matchup. There's a time and place for Shelly. Maybe they're just going for that kind of subtle flex, less of a flex than it was in previous months. But still, it's something that you can flex with, and I don't know if Revenant are maybe celebrating a little bit too early.
Yeah, maybe. I do think Shelly's in a pretty strong spot, though. It's a common conversation I've had with several pros. We even heard X9J talk about it earlier. Shelly's certainly in a stronger spot, but I'm with you. It doesn't necessarily pop off to me as somebody who will do well in the spawners, but the clay pigeons can certainly do some work. But an early deficit here, it's going to be 3-2. Trishant and Shafin looking to play some defense here as we're going to have Brock popping off on this left-hand side.
Yeah, really nice connections, but it didn't make too much of a difference. I will say he got Sergeant down, and he's already back up, and he's even claimed the mid as well. But this grass break is really starting to hurt him now. Less of this maneuverability in the mid, and obviously going to be able to fly under the radar a lot less. Shafin just trying to find some super and find some connections. No wall break coming in from Shran there, so just trying to keep it slow and steady. Shots from Abhishek going to be connecting. A little bit of that clay pigeon from Sergeant as well, getting that long-range damage, but it's just a slow start from both teams. We see Revenant in the mid, but nothing's coming of it.
Abhishek in a lot of trouble here. Going to be charging up that HP as well. Somehow dodging all of this out, but ultimately going to get taken down here. And now Sergeant charging forward. He is going to be able to deal some serious shotgun damage here. Actually just chasing down Yush. Does charge up that super as well, as Abhishek's going to be in trouble here as well. Few more tags. A lot of damage, allowing for Trishant to pave the way for his teammates. Getting a huge lead now. They're past the 50% marker, and Revenant still has a brawler on the other side.
Yeah, and he's still surviving as well. This is beautiful from Trishant up top. He's surviving this one out. Abhishek's not able to find the connections, and Brock's just not pinching well enough. They don't find the angles, and Sergeant, during that affair over the right-hand side, has found and made his way to the left-hand side in the pocket. Abhishek's going to go for the jump, but for what? The game's pretty much over. One super from Shafin, and it's going to be done. He gets it. He finishes the game.
Make Revenant Esports one more game away from back-to-back Grand Finals championships.
I mean, this is nice stuff from them. Clay Pigeon early on from Sergeant as well, and even earlier control for the side of Revenant Esports this time. Yash going to be low as well and getting pushed back. Shafin looking for his super once more, trying to get some damage down, but not finding too many connections. He did fall quite low, so I had to slow it down a little bit, but Sergeant going to get the shots in. Two of them fall down as well. Nice super from Sergeant. Super onto the safe from Shafin as well, and a little bit of an answer from Abhishek here, but not a lot coming out of it other than that. Some shots from Brock over the right-hand side, but Tron needs to break up this mid a little bit more and open up the map for them.
Little breakaway jump here from Abhishek, looking to do some damage. Slowly clawing his way back into this one for his teammates. They still have to worry about Shafin on the other side. Yush looking to play defense. Saran now being backed away by Sergeant. Shelly clearly a threat here, holding on to that super as well. Can slow it down the enemies. Common combination here for Shelly. A dive in there. A one pickup, make it two now as Revenant charge their way onto the high safe. Already spinning as well, I might add. Feeling very confident about their odds at this point.
I'm not sure you can blame them. Look at the position they're in. Sergeant's going to go aggressive as well. Save his super. Shran's given up. Yash has given up. It's over for Marcos Gaming this month in the Brawl Stars Championship, as Indian champions are going to be Revenant Esports once again.
And they did it in style. Little Shelly on Kaboom Canyon. You love to see it. Look, man, that's what makes some of the most fun Brawl Stars for me. The balance changes always bring a little something new, but it's safe to say I think that was unexpected, and that's why my heart's really happy right now. Congratulations to Revenant.